Okay guys, let's see what's going on in the world of lost AWOL women.
Hey, I guess yesterday's video got a lot of traction. So
There's a little plug for herself.
we're gonna start a thing, Car Chronicles Dating After 40. First, I have to address a few of these comments. One is, why am I dating? Well, I was married for 13 years, with him for 15 years. Yeah, I'm single at 40.
I was married for 13 years, something for 15 years. Now I'm single over 40. Why didn't she stay with the guy?
40, so I guess that's why I'm dating. Obviously.
Well, she doesn't seem to know what she's doing at all, and this is the thing. Once you see, remember, your value is measured by your capability to sustain and remain in a long-term relationship. Now, circumstances might undermine that, but if they haven't been undermined and you undermine it, that's not a good place to put yourself in the spiritual realm when you go out with the wolves. Now, she's out with the wolves and she doesn't seem real sure of herself.
That sounded not... I'm not dating anyone right now or talking to anyone. It just resonated with me. It definitely is the dating after 40. I mean, I don't know what kind of women I have on here, but...
Every type of woman. And some of these women are victims, some of these women are unfortunates, and other women have walked away from good men. And anybody that knows anything about the carousel of the dating world, there's more and more media slowly coming out with how dangerous and destructive it is. But a lot of these women are driven by boredom or an inability to keep the excitement in the relationship, or the man spoiled it one way or another, and this is where they end up. Now, once you end up in this sort of toxicity, no matter how glamorized you want to make it look, no matter how hard you want to try, the odds are against you, because it's a devalued marketplace. It's a place where a majority of the people haven't learned how to resolve, haven't learned or haven't wanted to grow, haven't been able to fix the problems that they've already got, so they're taking them with them. As much as they want to try and bury them in their psyche and all the rest of it, they're still carrying them with them. And when people meet them, an empty meat suit meets them, they just a couple of empty meat suits that haven't resolved anything. And you'll see more and more of these women getting on here, trying to be a part of this broken community.
Y'all can chime in if you want to, but I guess, we'll text. I don't ever want to double text. Sometimes I stay on that text for like days, and so it's not about somebody working a 12 or 14-hour shift and not being able to get to their phone much. But
okay, so somebody said something to her about not returning texts, and here you see straight out of the long-term relationship and into the world of all the different ways in which, and dysfunctional ways in which people approach potential relationships or potential interactions or opportunities for intercourse. And what happens is, as the body count rises, so does the dysfunction and the wickedness and the carelessness, the sicknesses and the mental health problems that come with it all. Then you've got to try and juggle the remnants of the family that you had, and it gets messy. And you know who the people are that suffer? The children. She hasn't mentioned children yet.
I work 12 and 14-hour shifts. You make the time. I have two kids. I work full-time, have a second job, stream.
Okay, so I'd say possibly on the other hand, she's been texting some bloke and he's just ignoring her and she doesn't like it.
Make the time if you want to make the time, okay? People I'm not interested sure as heck don't get back to, but the people
Okay, so the people that aren't getting back to her aren't interested in her, but she don't like that.
I'm interested in, I take the time. One of the other comments was Planet Fitness costs $10 or get a gym membership, or about me being fat. Well, first of all, I've had the black membership since the gym started in my area, so, well, thank you for your advice. But when I go to the gym, I go to the gym to work out, not to date guys, so.
Well, somebody's saying to her she needs to tidy herself up physically a bit, and again, she's trying to justify that with a membership, but I wouldn't worry about how long you've had the membership or this kind of thing. What results are you getting? That's more important. And I'm not having a shot at how her life has made her end up, but I'll be honest with you, going to the gym and all that kind of sports stuff takes hard work and discipline and commitment, and if you're working 14-hour shifts, it's not going to leave you much time to get rest, recover, try and look after yourself, and inclusive of going to the gym.
Thanks for that advice, and also, I've watched 600 Pound Life, and not one of those people are single. So I don't think when you're fat you have a problem. I have no problem. All my DMs are full. I have no problem if I want to be with someone.
And there's some really key information, guys, and this is what you've got to understand about women. Women have dozens and dozens of men orbiting around them in their DMs and flattering them and trying to get them and all the rest of this sort of thing. But after a while, that becomes a monotony to them. So what happens is they end up, it's like a baby with a shiny new toy. It's all shiny at first, and after a while the toy gets thrown into the corner. This is what happens to these women on the dating sites. They lose the value, the psychological way to value what a healthy monogamous relationship really means. They lose the meaning of it all, and therefore they lose interest in it all. And it doesn't matter how much attention they're getting and all the rest of it to flatter their ego. Excuse me, we all know the ego deceives. The ego leads you the wrong way. And she looks tired. I don't think things are going as well for her as she would like. And she's come out of a 13 to 15 year relationship. Why on earth wouldn't she have fought for that relationship? Possibly she did. I don't know what the reasons are behind it or why it ended, but it's very sad when you see people coming back into the dating marketplace. I call it the wolves. You're running with the wolves, you're running with the devil. You're on the carousel and you just slip off into the dust. People don't realise how rough and dangerous and careless it is. I mean, you've got to be hard. You've got to have a hard heart to cope with it. And that's why a lot of people just get off and they end up on their own after a while because they're tired of being abused, neglected. It's all fun at first, the shiny new toy. But once the element of it's rubbed off and the damage has been done to their hearts and their minds and they've been completely devalued and discarded because they haven't learned to navigate life properly, they end up in limbo. And you hear a lot of it with a cat or a dog or a snake or a ferret or maybe a goldfish or something, to give them a sense of company and things like this. And it's just so sad because when you come out of a long-term relationship, you default back to zero. Everything resets to zero. And in the relationship, intimate part of your life, you've got to start from zero. So if these people are bouncing one guy every 2 weeks, she gets the bounce, but she's back to zero. They might get 3 guys a week. I'm just saying, I don't know, but it could be 3 guys a week. That one, back to 0. But in their mind, they're thinking they're gaining something. But it's a hit, back to 0. Hit, back to 0. Hit, back to 0. But if you've got a monogamous relationship, you're building your heart, you're building your mind, you're building stability in your person and in that person. But trying to get a body count, after each count, it's all back to 0, and sometimes minus. Like if you get a sexual sickness out of that experience, that's a minus. You're into minus, and now you're trying to recover from it. It could be a mental illness from it. An underlying mental illness comes out of this particular person that you've slept with. You could get a serious body. You could, through intercourse, take on a kidney problem. All these things happen. Nobody talks about this stuff. All the intrusions and infusions through intercourse with strangers, where people lose their minds and their peace forever, never comes back. And that's why, right, you can have a huge body count, right, but be in minus. Your life can be in minus because you haven't had the capacity or capability, or you haven't chosen the right people to build your life up. Now, I built women up only to watch them by instinct go back to 0, back to minus. They default back to what their core values are, and you can't change that. You can only watch and hope it's not you.
It's that I want to be with the right someone. Yeah, I did it wrong before for 13 years. I don't want to do it again wrong.
See, that's silly. She did it wrong. Well, what was wrong? Who in that relationship didn't have the mental maturity over 13 years to make that thing right? Somebody didn't. Somebody hasn't. Maybe she was slim when the guy first met her, and in the journey of that relationship, it's just been too easy on her, and she's gotten fat, and could have been he's taken off with a chick that's not. I don't know.
It's definitely a society where people move on to the next person really quick.
That's it, see? So what she's saying is, when you're on the carousel, when you're running with the wolves, you're of no value. Everybody's at 0. Each new relationship starts at 0. No matter what the idealization or fantasy that person has in their mind when they see you and mirror you, love bomb you, it's all at 0. And if that thing don't get off the ground, right, even if it does, once that person pumps and dumps and goes to the next person, it hits 0 and then starts bouncing into minus. Everybody ends up damaged. Nobody's developing, nobody's maturing, nobody's creating anything for the society that's going to last. And these people hide in our societies, jumping from one person to the next, keeping their world at 0 or minus. I've met ladies that have said to me, I'm just going to not be able to build a relationship with you. Right? They've had the courage to say right from the start, not because I'm not attracted to you and I don't want to play around, but you want to build a relationship. I wanted to build a relationship, and they just weren't able to do it. So you move on. And this is how dangerous all this is.
And if you don't have the same outlook on that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Y'all have a great day. Happy.
She doesn't even know what to say, basically, the situation that she's found herself in. And this is going for millions of people now that are falling for this idealism, this idealization that running with the wolves is going to work out, riding on the carousel. It's not going to work out. She had a 13 to 15 year relationship. Okay, struggled through all of that, and has now thrown it away, and basically it's just what she said. I'm lost, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say is basically saying I'm completely lost. I don't know what's going to happen to me next. I'm being abandoned. Nobody wants me. Nobody has any value for me. If the man stays with you for 13 to 15 years, there's got to be some element of value. But if she's been slim and you know, in good shape and allowed herself to become a little bit out of curvy, if you want to say, just to be respectful, and the guy's sort of going, well, hang on a minute, this has all gotten out of hand. Is there some way we can turn this around? If he's been in a position to be able to do that, if he wasn't a Gronk himself, or maybe he was the one that made her go away. You don't know. I don't know the details of it. It's really none of my business either, but she's definitely out with the wolves, and they're going to eat her up. She knows it, and she hasn't got an answer for it. She hasn't got the sexual marketplace value to demand anything. There's too much competition for her to go against. And it's going to be a miracle, unfortunately, for her to meet someone that's going to say, you know, you're going to be of value to me. You can see how lost she is in her eyes. It's really sad, and all you can do, you know, I haven't even got time to hope for these people. When you get to 18 years of age, you're an adult, and you've got to make your decisions from there, and you've got to live and die by them. And that's all there is to it. Okay? So be careful out there, guys, and remember, stay off drugs, alcohol, chemicals, and all that stuff. Make right decisions and find someone that you can build a life with. I'll catch you later, and bye for now.